Oil makes the world go round, quite literally. The black, viscous liquid is the lifeblood that fuels society's engines. So what would happen if one day we woke up and the world had suddenly run out of oil? It's hard to overstate oil's importance in the modern world. Over 90 million barrels are consumed globally each day. Oil provides about a third of the planet's energy needs. It powers our vehicles, planes, ships, and trucks that transport people, goods, food, and medicine around the world. Oil is also used to manufacture everything from pavements to toothbrushes, clothes to computers. Some say our civilization is addicted to oil. But before we dive deeper into this complex subject, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to join our engaged community, embarking on mini documentary adventures that transport you to hypothetical realms. So, imagine waking up one morning and hearing the shocking news. The oil wells have run dry. How would such an abrupt oil shortage impact daily life? Let's have a look at some of the immediate effects. Virtually all transportation would grind to a halt. Cars, trucks, and buses, they all need refined oil to move. With gas stations empty, roadways would fall eerily silent. Airports would cancel flights, leaving airplanes stuck on the tarmac. Cargo ships would remain anchored in ports, unable to deliver goods. Commuter trains and freight rail service would cease. Very quickly, we'd feel isolated and frozen in place without personal vehicles or public transportation. How would we get to work or school? How would stores restock shelves? Delivery infrastructure would rupture. Far-reaching economic impacts would hit fast and hard. The stock market would spiral out of control. Panicked and confused, traders would dump investments in oil companies and associated sectors, wanting to cut losses. With transportation paralyzed, other businesses like tourism and retail sales would plummet. Manufacturing plants would shut down assembly lines. Millions would lose jobs in the initial market crash, rippling hardship across communities. Though painful, this economic collapse would force society to rapidly reorganize itself to be less dependent on oil and fossil fuels. Disruptions to the food supply would soon follow. Modern agriculture relies heavily on oil and gas. Tractors and other farm machinery run on diesel. Fertilizers and pesticides are made from petrochemicals. Refrigerated trucks, which move perishable fruits, vegetables, meats, and dairy products from farms to processing plants, then eventually to grocery stores, all require oil. With this supply chain broken, store shelves would be empty. Those without adequate non-perishable food stockpiled up would go hungry until alternate local sources could provide aid. Urban populations would bear the immediate brunt of the food crisis. While the prospect of a sudden oil shortage seems terrifying, it's also an opportunity. Faced with adversity, humanity would need to adapt and evolve new solutions, like solar, wind, and hydropower, along with increased battery storage technology. Communities might need to return to more localized lifestyles, less dependent on cars and fossil fuels. Hardship often spurs change. Although easier said than done, ending our oil addiction may be the wake-up call needed to build a more sustainable future. Additionally, life without oil would require overhauling how we make and consume plastics. Many common plastics, from water bottles to food packaging, rely on petrochemicals. Alternatives derived from plant starch or other organic materials could replace some plastics. However, applications like PVC plastic piping and parts used in cars and electronics may lack suitable alternatives. Everyday items and high-tech devices would need redesigning. We'd see a return to greater use of traditional materials like wood, glass, ceramic. Eventually, next-generation biomaterials and green chemistry could lessen plastic pollution problems. Medical care would also struggle with pharmaceutical shortages and equipment deficits. More than 95% of crucial medical supplies like IV bags, oxygen masks, artificial joints, dialysis machines, and even bandages contain plastic from oil. An abrupt oil outage would disrupt production and distribution. Hospitals would face rationing of essential supplies, development of new petroleum-free materials, and medical tools can't happen overnight. Doctors may need to return to earlier practices. For all the high-tech diagnostics modern medicine offers, it still relies fundamentally on basic resources. Infrastructure systems would falter without oil to generate power and heat. The electricity grid largely depends on natural gas and coal plants, fossil fuels in the same hydrocarbon family as petroleum. Outages would occur, leaving entire cities periodically blacked out. Homes would lose heating, air conditioning, lights, and appliances, increasing hardships. Energy rationing and rolling blackouts could help ease grid overload, but until cleaner renewable sources like wind, solar, and hydro get connected, outages may continue. Families might need to congregate in a single heated room to get by using blankets to stay warm. Eliminating oil could catalyze an accelerated transition to renewable energy. Solar, wind, and hydropower offer promising carbon-neutral energy alternatives, but currently they provide only about 10% of global energy needs. An abrupt oil disappearance would force the rapid build-out of solar fields and vast wind farms, along with greater energy storage capacity. Hydrogen fuel derived from water using renewable electricity offers another potential option. With determination and cooperation, renewable energy from the sun, wind, and water, coupled with improved efficiency and conservation practices, could replace oil and gas. Out of crisis springs opportunity. As oil reserves dwindle in the lead-up to exhaustion, competition between nations over access could escalate tensions and conflict. Major oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia and Russia could leverage and hoard their remaining supplies. Seeing the impending crisis, stockpiling countries may safeguard their strategic reserves. Oil-starved nations may resort to aggression and military force to secure their energy and economic interests. Backroom deals for preferential oil access could divide international alliances. Territorial disputes over drilling rights in contested areas like the South China Sea could turn violent. There are concerns these types of oil-centered clashes could already occur within the next few decades as cheap, easy extraction declines. But even if geopolitical fault lines form and fractiousness grows, the true power lies with people coming together. Human resilience and innovation have lit the way through past crises. While the lack of oil severely disrupts modern life, this extinction event offers a reset. With grit and cooperation, communities can support each other, trading skills and resources. Neighbors in need can be lifted up. Victory gardens, carpooling, and tool sharing would help weather the changes locally. Hardships often bring out humanity's compassion and creativity. Around the world, people need to adjust their lifestyles and reconsider what really matters. Patience, adaptation, and conservation will carry us through. Challenging situations that seemed unimaginable have been faced before, and this time can be surmounted again with care for our shared planet and collective willpower. If oil disappeared, the economic construct, social systems, and everyday habits built around it would radically transform. But rather than dread this change, we can embrace it as an opportunity. The losses oil's absence creates can be reframed as gains: closer communities, reduced pollution, and an energy system in harmony with nature. These are worthy goals. With open and optimistic minds, we can reshape a brighter future.